Okay, good morning everyone. So this is the last lesson for this chapter, chapter 5, lesson 10. The title is Definite Integrals Numerically by Simpson's Rule. Chapter 5, lesson 10, open your book, page 252. Page 252. Yeah. So basically today I'm gonna teach you one other way to approximate the value of definite integrals. Now, why is it really important for you to be able to approximate the value of definite integrals by this method, even though you have learned the fundamental theorem of calculus, is because not every expression can be integrated. Yeah. For example, if I have integral of sine x over x from example 1 on your book dx, then actually this function, this expression sine x over x, right now you cannot integrate it. Yeah, so that's why it is still important for you to be able to know how to approximate the value of definite integrals numerically. Yeah, and we have learned about the Riemann sums, and there are 5 methods to pick the sample point. We have learned the trapezoid methods, which we create trapezoids depending on the number of increments. And then today we're gonna learn about the Simpson's rule method, which adopt a parabola, a quadratic functions. Yeah. So basically for the Simpson's rule, instead of a rectangle, instead of a trapezoid, we are going to split the area below the graph into several parabolas, quadratic functions. Okay, so I'll give you example. So let's say this is x and y axis, and then I have some random functions here, let's say, and then I want to evaluate from x equals a into x equals b. Yeah. Now, one important thing that you need to keep in mind, if you are using a Simpson's rule, there is a limitation for the number of increments. Yeah, the number of increments must be an even number. One more time, I will repeat. The number of increments, if you are using a Simpson rule, must be an even number. Yeah. Why? I will explain. So let's say in this case the n is 8. Let's say the n is 8. So it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, here, here. Okay, the delta x is not really the same. So let's try again. Okay, good enough. Okay, so there are 6 areas here, right? There are 6 areas here. So I will share it first. Okay, I will share it first. Okay, there we go. There is your area. Okay, so now how many? The n is 8. So let's say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 increments. Yeah. Now, why is n must be an even number? Because to create a parabola, you need 3 points, right? Remember in algebra class, if you have learned quadratic functions. To form a quadratic functions, you need 3 random points. Yeah, it means that we are going to take these three, 1, 2, 3, to create one parabola. So this is the area that is gonna be approximated by the first parabola. Okay, and then the second one, the second parabola is here, 1, 2, 3. So this is the second parabola. Okay, and then the next parabola is this one, and this one. Okay, and then the last one, this is your last one, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, now imagine if there is only an odd number of n increments, then basically you will have one more, and there is not enough point to create a parabola, right? Or if you take this one, then it will overlap, the area will not be valid. So that's why for using a Riemann sum method, for using a Simpson rule method, the n must be an even number, and the number of parabola will be n divided by 2. So if it's 8 increments, then there will be 4 parabolas. If there are 10 increments, then there are 5 parabolas. Okay, I hope you understand so far. So let's continue. Now, how do we estimate it? By creating a parabola. By the way, if you want to see the clearer picture, you can see your book page 253, figure 5.10b. Okay, figure 5.10b, the right one. The book tries to compare between trapezoid rule and Simpson's rule. And for a curve function, usually Simpson rule will have a better approximation to the value of the definite integral, the area below the graph. Okay, now let's continue. Let's pick one. Let's pick one parabola, or let's make it general. Let's just make it general. Let's say I have a parabola like this. Okay, I think it's, wait, hold on, I'll make it. Let's say I have a parabola like this. Okay. Oh wait, hold on. Okay, let's say that's the parabola. And let's say I want to take 4 and 4. So remember the delta x on this one is still the same, yeah? We make the delta x similar. So it's basically the delta x is equal to b minus a over n. Yeah, the delta x is still similar. Okay, so let's say that this is delta x and this is delta x. Okay, and this function is basically y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, a general one, right? Okay, so let's say that this is 0, 0, so this is minus h and this is h. Okay, and then let's say that this point is negative h comma y 0. This point is 0 comma y1, and this point is h comma y2. Okay, and we want to find the area below the graph of this one. Yeah, okay. Now we know that the area below the graph will be the integral of ax squared plus bx plus c dx from negative h to h, right? Yeah, if we use the method, then this is the rectangle. Remember, find the area, the rectangle, and then the a is basically equals to y times dx. Yeah, so the y is ax squared plus bx plus c dx integrated from negative h to h. Okay, so if we try to integrate, then it's gonna be 1 over 3 ax cubed plus half bx squared plus cx evaluated from h to negative h. Yeah, so it's equal to 1 over 3 ah cubed plus half bh squared plus ch minus 1 over 3h cubed negative, ya, plus half bh squared minus ch. Yeah, and of course this will be cancelling. Okay, so if I try to add, then it's equal to 2 over 3 ah cubed plus 2ch. Okay, and if I want to factor, then basically it's equal to 1 over 3h 2ah squared plus 6c, ya, plus 6c, because 1 over 3 times 6 is equal to 2. We want to factor out the 2. Okay, are you following? Yeah, I hope you are following so far. And then now we are going to substitute the value of h and a and c into y0, y1, and y2, ya. So based on the equation, y equals to ax squared plus bx plus c, right? So if the x is equal to negative h, then your equation will be y0 equals ah squared plus minus bh plus c. If x equals 0, then it will be y1 equals c, right? And then if x equals h, then it will be y2 equals ah squared plus bh plus c. Yeah, because of these 3 points, we basically substitute the coordinate to the general equation. Yeah, so now if we add this all together, then basically it will be cancelled like this, right? So I have y0 plus y1 plus y2 is equal to 2ah squared plus 3c. Now we have 2ah squared already. We are losing 3c. Yeah, we are losing 3c. So to make this expression equal with in terms of y, I will add it with 3y1, which is equal to 3c. So if I add them all together, y0 plus 4y1 plus y2 is equal to 2ah squared plus 6c. So it's already the same with this one. Yeah, it means that the area the area from here, which is equal to 1 over 3 h a to ah squared plus 6c is actually equal to 1 over 3 h to ah squared. I mean, to substitute the 2ah squared plus 6c into y0 plus 4y1 plus y2. Yeah, and because the h is delta x, basically the area is equal to 1 over 3 delta x y0 plus y1 plus y2. Okay, so this is the area below the graph of a parabola for one parabola only, 2 increments. Yeah. Now, what if there are 8 of them? There are 8 increments, which are 4 parabolas. Then basically we just need to add them all together. So basically, then we can name this. This is y0, y1, y2, y3, y4, y5, y6, y7, y8, right? Basically, we can name them like that, right? The value of y when x is at that particular point. So basically, the first a is that one. And then the second a is 1 over 3 delta x, y2, y4, yeah? There is 4, sorry, y4. And then a3, 1 over 3 delta x, y4 plus 4y5 plus y6. And then the last one, 1 over 3 delta x, y6 plus 4, y7 plus y8. Yeah. So if you add them all together, then the area, the integral is approximated by 1 over 3 delta x is all the same, and then we factor out. Now look, this is the one that's the same, right? So basically we can say that it's y0 plus 4y1 plus 2y2 because there are 2 addition, and then plus 4y3 and then plus 2y4 again until y8. Yeah. Now you see the pattern. If Riemann sum, the sum of the y is just the coefficient is 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, right? For Riemann sum, it's basically delta x times y0, y1, y2 until yn, ya. Okay. For trapezoid, the formula is delta x divided by 2. We have y1, we have yn, and the middle is multiplied by 2. y1, y2, until yn minus 1. Okay. Now, how about Simpson rule? Simpson's rule. Then Simpson's rule is basically delta x divided by 3. Yeah, so there is a pattern in the formula delta x divided by 2, delta x divided by 3, 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 2 1, and then this one is actually 1 4 2 4 2 4 1. Yeah, and this is y0, this is yn, this is yn, and it follows. This is the odd number, even number, odd number, even number, odd number until yn. N is even number. Yeah. So that's for Simpson rule method. Okay. Now I'll give you example for this one. Let's use the example 1. Let's find the approximation value of integral from 0 until 2 of sine x over x dx, with Simpson's rule with n equals 4. Let's try n equals 4 dulu. Yeah. So basically it's approximated by 2 over 0 divided by 4 is the delta x, and then it's 1 over 3 times delta x. And then we need to actually, yeah, I'll not make a table, but if there are a lot of methods that you need to do with one number, you need to create table like the previous one, yeah. So basically, if n equals 4, from 0 until 2, then basically it's 0.5 and 0.70, 1.5, yeah, 1.5, 1.5. Okay, so basically it starts with 0, so sine 0 over 0, I'm sorry, 0 is not supposed to be there. I'll just change it, I'll just change 1 until 3, 1 until 3, 1, 3, 2, so this 1.5, this 2.5, okay. So make it real. Sine 1 over 1, and then plus 4 times sine 1.5 over 1.5, and then 2 sine 2 over 2, and then 4 sine 2.5 over 2.5, and then 1 times sine 3 over 3. And then you can calculate by yourself. So that's how you approximate a definite integral by Simpson rule. I hope you understand today's lesson. That's all for today. Thank you.